Elizabeth Warren's narrative crumbled within minutes.
You are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
In a recent Senate hearing, the Congresswoman kept pressing the HHS secretary, only for RFK Jr. to end up exposing her again and again.
And described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her. In a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her.
That's why today we're covering it all, because we're not here to follow parties blindly. We're here for common sense. So if you're an independent thinker, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
Last November, while you were under consideration to become Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, "If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away." No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up right now, Secretary Kennedy. Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No.
Well, it's not as black and white as they're making it seem. For context, a couple of weeks ago, the FDA approved updated COVID vaccines but added some restrictions to them. Quote, where adults age 65 and older, as well as those between the ages of 5 and 64 with at least one underlying condition that puts them in the high-risk group, would be eligible to receive a booster shot. For healthy individuals outside those groups, the recommendation is to consult with their doctor first. Now, it's not clear whether this guidance will result in people losing access to the vaccine, but it basically means those who are healthy would just need a prescription. And the US is not the only country following a similar path. The head of the FDA made sure to point that out as he referenced other high-income nations that also adopted a similar policy. But Warren wouldn't let Bobby give any explanation and continued with her push.
If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise,
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
That's the kind of reminder everyone should be giving these senators in all their hearings. No matter how noble they try to act when the cameras roll, they accept money from the same industries that they end up criticizing. This new FDA guideline doesn't block access. It simply adds an extra step for healthy individuals by requiring a doctor's consultation before getting the booster. That being said, the CDC hasn't released its recommendations yet. Until that happens, pharmacists can't administer it, quote, in 18 states and Washington, D.C., because it isn't on the CDC immunization schedule yet. Then there's the issue of cost. Insurance companies rely on that same CDC schedule to decide whether they'll cover the shot. So, it's safe to say, Warren was assuming a lot of stuff here. Most of them not true. And seeing how Bobby wasn't taking the bait, she decided to switch gears and attack him on events that haven't happened yet, which were mostly based on her own speculations. But before we play that, we have a quick message for you. Central banks just did something they haven't done in 30 years. They now hold more gold than U.S. Treasuries. That's not a coincidence. That's a warning. While the dollar keeps losing ground, smart money is protecting itself with gold. And you can too. Augusta Precious Metals helps everyday Americans move retirement savings into real gold and silver IRAs. No Wall Street games, no fine print, just protection you can actually hold. So, if you've got over $100,000 saved, don't wait for the dollar to sink further and secure your future. Go to mentorforgold.com, that's mentorforgold.com, and see why so many are making the switch. Now, back to the video.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is hepatitis B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with me?
You want me to recommend every product in the world?
No,
so that without any clinical trial data.
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still get COVID vaccines, Senator.
You are taking that away.
No, he's not. As we explained throughout the video, but attacking RFK Jr. on vaccines is the easiest way to put out a great show for your pharma donors to pour more money into your future campaigns. Now, just a couple of weeks ago, the CDC director, who had been in the role for less than a month, was fired. In an opinion piece published by the Wall Street Journal, she claimed she was removed because she stood her ground against Bobby during internal debates. Naturally, Warren latched onto that narrative, using the article as ammo to go after the HHS secretary. But what she didn't expect was how effectively he would turn the tables, saying this.
You tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign?
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes.
This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable. And you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted against her because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her.
She essentially admitted she wouldn't vote for any nominee put forward by the president, simply because they're from the other side. We all know that's the unspoken rule in politics, and bipartisan support for nominees is rare these days. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a disgusting behavior. By that logic, even if we brought Einstein himself, if he's aligned with the wrong party, he wouldn't stand a chance. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep thinking.